Welcome to it, sports fans. It has been a week. Oh my goodness, I have missed it. I'm so glad to be back. It was nice to have that production break. One or two things rolling now, fixed, good to go. Great to be back. Thank you very much to everybody that's joining us. It's awesome to be back. It's me and Dave tonight. MKT here. And we will have a name change, which we will announce this week. Might even be tomorrow. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, it's not like Dave works hard enough, people. Might as well pile more work onto his plate. The hardest working man in the business. Dave Leroux, good to have you. And great to be back. It is CliffCentral Sport. I am MKT. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, Q&A coming up. But before that, I think it's going to be my Monday thing. I like to do it on Tuesday, see if anything develops on Mondays, but I'm going to do it on Mondays. Never short of an opinion. I like to get ahead of it. Just overreact to everything. Overreact to everything. So today, where I was right, where I was wrong. Great to have you back this week. By the way, we already got some great guests lined up. Look out for those. Tomorrow, we speak to the leading sports lawyer, possibly in Africa, to be honest with you. Not just in South Africa. I mean, he works closely with the PSL. He works closely with Football Law Internationally. He understands the game inside out, and also an insane runner. He's trying to run 100 marathons before he's 40 years old. Farari Razzano, look out for him tomorrow. An exceptional mind. And we're going to delve into the finer things in the sports world, not just football, but in and around the legal stuff. Not just what we think happens, what's actually happening. So looking forward to that tomorrow. But today, where I was right, where I was wrong. Dave, let's get that music. Let's get to it. Awesome to be back. Where I was right. Listen, Leo Messi, I called it, right? What I said was, it's what the kids call a flex. And because I love being the guy that says, I told you so. I know a lot of people say, oh, I hate saying I told you so. Not this guy over here. Not this guy over here. I love saying I told you so. And I set myself up on Twitter. In basketball, you call it the alley-oop. The alley-oop. Right? The alley-oop move. 27th of August, you can see there, I said Leo Messi is going nowhere. I've been saying it on the show for 2 weeks. Folks, he's not going anywhere. Number one, Barcelona understand he is the crown jewel. You lose Leo Messi, nobody wants to come and play there. What do you think? People want to play with Griezmann. I mean, is Griezmann really, let's be honest, what's his pulling power over an Mbappe? Over a Neymar? Probably a better player than both, but what's his pulling power? Right? Leo Messi is the greatest of all time. Whether he's on the decline or not, everybody wants to say, I played with Messi. And listen, sportsmen are smart. After their careers, are you kidding me? An association with Leo Messi? That's long-term thinking, people. A lot of people think sportsmen are stupid. They are not. Leo Messi wasn't going to work. And where I told you it wouldn't happen and why I knew it wouldn't happen was this. When La Liga got involved and they overturned, they really overturned the he can leave for free clause, then I knew it's a commercial decision. And listen, then you're starting to fight. Once you start to fight La Liga, you know who's stepping in. Real Madrid step in. Then the Spanish government step in. Because when you look at Leo Messi, he is an absolute treasure. And there's only one of him. They've just lost Ronaldo. They're about to lose Bale. They've just lost Suarez. Who else is there as the cash cow? People watch Barcelona to watch Leo Messi. I was dead right. Leo Messi going nowhere. Works for both sides. Works for both sides. I was dead right there. Where I was wrong. Look, I thought Bill Belichick, it wouldn't work with Cam Newton. Honestly, I thought they'd bring him in. Kind of, Bill will get to say to people, okay, myself, Newton, I gave him a bash. It didn't work. He wasn't a fit here. But, we gave him a bash. I'm open-minded. I like the fun guys. It just didn't work schematically, blah, blah, blah. I thought he'd come out with platitudes. My goodness, what came out this week? Now, behind closed doors, the Woj bomb came out. He is a starter. That's not the bomb, though. Cam Newton is a captain. Listen, the New England Patriots have always done things differently. Their greatest players, Dante Hightower, you're talking about Brady himself, they got to wait a year, 2 years, some people, to become captains. My God, Cam Newton, I was wrong. Bill Belichick showing I'm open-minded. And listen, they'll probably devise something clever for him, probably a little more RPO. Cam Newton is a captain at the New England Patriots, if you've been seeing his, and they've been letting him do his thing, social media, he's been going ahead being Cam Newton. The Dougie's happening. It's all happening at New England, where everybody thought it was just vanilla. Oh, no, it isn't. Bill Belichick said, not only is he my starter, and I've never heard Bill Belichick talk so much about a player. Now we know what's going on there. That's a shot at Tampa Bay, right? Johnny freaking, what are they calling him? By the way, if you haven't seen Giselle Bundchen, she's out here talking. But I was wrong. Johnny freaking Football, or whatever his name is. He's down in Tampa Bay. Bill Belichick has never, ever praised Tom Brady. He's praising Bill Belichick. Or he's praising Cam Newton. Don't think that's a mistake. That's a jab at Tom Brady. Tom Brady beat Belichick once. He says, you're out of here now. I'm going to do it my way. I was wrong. Cam Newton, not only a starter, but a captain. Where I was right. Listen, Mason Mount's father came out this week and he was replying to Christian Falk. Right? Now, Christian Falk is a reputable guy. He's a reputable football journalist. And listen, football journalists aren't going to put out nonsense. Journalists in general in the sporting world, the inside game's messy. You put out too much rubbish, especially now in the Twitter world, you're going to be kicked out and you're not going to be able to make money. People don't like nonsense. They want some consistency. Christian Falk has worked a long time to get his career right. I said a couple of weeks ago, Frank Lampard has given up on the kids, his own kids. Christian Falk broke the story. Havertz is already searching for a house in town. Because of Havertz, his mate Timo Werner can imagine to play on the wings. Yeah, that'll be a nice link. Mason Mount is not happy that he has an expensive rival at his position. Now, to say something like that, if it is a blatant lie, Mason Mount would have come out himself. Right? He hasn't said a thing. His father went and spoke out. Now, I've got a problem with that. Christian Falk wouldn't just go and say this if he didn't have inside connections. To be honest with you, I think there's some truth to this. I said it. I said Lampard's given up on the kids. Listen, I love Havertz. The guy's clearly talented. He's clearly special. He's terrific in the air. He's a goal-getter in the Ballack mold is what they're saying. Just a brilliant, brilliant young player at the age of 21. But Mason Mount is very much the same role, right? Start from deep, your general number 6'8", and then burst late into the box and shoot from long range. That's Mason Mount's position. He understands now it's going to be a rotation. And Mount had a great season last season. So, for me, that's not empty. I was right, because I really, really think Lampard's given up on the project. Now we know Tomori is probably going to go on loan. Mason Mount's going to be on rotation. When Pulisic gets back, I'm afraid Callum Hudson-Odoi, you're not going to play. Tammy Abraham, you're the third option now. Timo Werner, and he's scoring already. He's given up on the kids. Very, very sad. Mason Mount's dad, I think there's something there. Christian Falk wouldn't just make that up. I was dead right. Lampard's given up on the kids. Where I was wrong, I always said there was one man who could rival Roger Federer. Novak Djokovic. Part of greatness in every era, right? And I was dead wrong on this. I was dead wrong. We have to say this. I was absolutely wrong on saying Novak Djokovic could ever be equal to Roger Federer. And part of the greatness of Roger Federer is self-awareness. I'm not saying, if you haven't seen, by the way, Novak Djokovic got defaulted because he nearly made a Lions lady swallow her jugular by smashing a ball into his face. It's not the first time. And look, I'm not really caught up in that. I don't think he should have been suspended. But Novak, it's been happening a couple of times. It's like his 5th or 6th incident now. Like, stop. Bit of self-awareness. It was okay when you were 21. Novak, come on. Right? And the thing about Novak is this. I kind of like the cocky guy, right? I've never been shy of an opinion, but you have to be willing to take up the position when things go wrong. And now Novak wants to whinge at the media. He wants to storm out. Novak today should have taken the media conference, right? You made a mistake, dude. And it's been coming because he's thrown a racket a couple of times. I think it was 2014. I remember where he hit a ball and it was close to one of the Lions folks as well. So this is something Novak has shown. He's thrown a racket. It nearly hit a Lions person as well. So when a journalist asked him way back was, what do you think is going to happen? He said, you guys are unbelievable. Well, here it is. If you're going to be cocky, you better be able to stand up, right? You better be able, when things do go wrong, you better damn be sure to step up. What I hated was him getting suspended. What I hated even more was that when things went wrong, he marched out. And then he wants to come and apologize on social media. That's weak. And then he's on his that Adria tour. He's getting coronavirus. I mean, Novak, you want to be the leader of the game. You can't do that. Roger Federer's greatness, not only great on the court, but also conducts himself in a manner that says, all the money that I get, I deserve it. Why? I'm aware of it's 2020, right? The nonsense of I'm not going to be the image of the game. I understand I'm the guy. So for some guys, for some human beings in life, it's okay not to be the guy. So Novak, you know what you are? It's just a special tennis player. You're not great. The greats have self-awareness to go, I'm going to transcend the sport. Novak will never transcend the sport. No, we're done with him off the court. We're done with him in a bigger project. Coronavirus, I don't care. Hitting the ball and not caring about people around me at 30, I don't care. Like Novak, and then getting cocky. And then when things go wrong, you storm out. That's not leadership, Chief. I was wrong. I thought Novak could, I thought Novak could maybe step up. I was dead wrong. I was dead wrong. Where I was right, listen, the CSA is a joke. It's come out now that, of course, Foul resigned 3 days ago and all sorts of things. If you haven't read in the report what's coming out, apparently 521 million rand was spent on a single advertisement in the Sunday Times. This was after him as the CEO saying that mustn't happen. And when he went and confronted the lady who did it, he was told she can do whatever she wants. It's a spaza shop. It's a spaza shop. So where I was dead right, CSA, joke. Not amateur. So, you know, people who run spaza shops, at least they know how to balance a book. They know how to balance stock. They know how to shift fresh stock so that it stays fresh. These guys are doing worse. The CSA are an embarrassment. Now, Foul seems to think it's near collapse. Over the last 3 years, get this, 400 million rand, it's being reported, has been lost at the CSA. Corruption, maladministration, cadre deployment. Absolutely revolting. But I was dead right. I could see it coming. I mean, some of the decisions, absolutely embarrassing. CSA, you are a joke. It is despicable. Where I was wrong, listen, I thought all the All Blacks were on the same page. I was so wrong about this. I thought the All Blacks management and the All Blacks players were on the same page. Could this be the first time we see a crack in New Zealand rugby? Because if you haven't seen it on social media, the players are going, we want to play SA against SA teams. They're tough, they bring a different dimension, and they bring test match intensity. I thought they'd want to just play like with their own guys. They don't mind the travel. They say, we want to play against South Africa. Trouble are brewing in New Zealand rugby for the first time. Could they lose their best players overseas now? Trouble is a-coming. Because I thought they were all on the same page. I was dead wrong. All Black rugby, is there a divide? Maybe. Players say we want to play. The management says we're done with Super Rugby. Could be a problem. Let's watch how that story develops. I was dead wrong. Listen, where I was right. Tennis sucks now. Tennis sucks now. The US Open's been horrible. It's been, today, just like, why are you suspending Novak? After everything I've just said, even then, like, for God's sake, a little bit of controversy, what, you can't swallow that pill? Yet Serena is going wild at people. And for goodness sake, to the lines person, acting and the noises she was making, like, stop it. Stop it. I've seen women's rugby. I've seen, like, people get hit in the jugular in UFC. Like, if you haven't seen it, please go on YouTube. The lady who got hit by Novak. It was a tennis ball. It was a tennis ball. Relax, lady. Can we just calm down? And tennis sucks. Like, swallow a bit of controversy. And you know what that does? It puts tennis on the front page. Build the story around it. At least people are going to watch tennis. Listen, Rafa isn't what he was. Novak's obviously a jamoke. Like, I'm over Novak as a person now. Listen, do me a favor, yeah. Tennis, this is how you sell yourself. Controversy, it's all a little bit of what we call sports entertainment. And you go and suspend Novak. Tennis sucks now. There's no stars. Zverev, all of them, they vanilla. They chalk. They chalk. All the new stars are chalk. Because they're all Instagram kids. They want to keep it kind of down the middle. Come on. Tennis is horrible. I was dead right. I said it. It's done. where I was wrong. Look, Alexis Sanchez now, it is clear. Right? It is clear. He's a flake. Alexis Sanchez is a flake. Listen, I've got no love loss, of course, for Manchester United. But you don't come out and do an interview now that things have gone sour, right? Now you want to come and do the interview. No, Chief. You go and do the interview while you're at Man United. That's how a real G does it. So as an Inter Milan fan, I fear within a year, oh no, some things go wrong. Alexis Sanchez wants out. Like, I hate nothing more than people with no character. Like, if you have to have a difficult conversation, have a difficult conversation. I hate flaky people. Tell me to my face, Alexis Sanchez, you have no character, dude. That's low character. And low character people should get the hell out of here. That's such a B-grade move, dude. Such a B-grade move. I thought he got a rough deal at Man United. Look, I've said this before, I'll say it again. You get divorced the first time, okay, cool. You know what? That's not on you. That was his Barcelona thing. That was really messy, the way he left Barcelona for Arsenal. You get divorced the second time, okay, she was crazy. Maybe the ex-husband, maybe the kids are too much in the second marriage. Listen, you get divorced the third time, right? When Man United get rid of you, 3 classy organizations. Barcelona, Man United, Arsenal. Dude, that's a you problem. That's not Man United. Alexis, that's you. 3 teams. 3 of the greatest establishments in sporting and business history. United, Barcelona, Arsenal. 3 of the greatest. That's a you problem. It can't always be someone else's fault, Chief. Alexis Sanchez, no good, bro. You're Novak. No good. It ain't gonna work. I wanted to walk out after the first. Life is not about getting things your own way. That's not how life works. Especially when you get to the top. Learn to sacrifice. Alexis Sanchez, no good. I was dead wrong on that situation. I thought Sanchez got a raw deal from Manchester United. Turns out the guy's just a flake. The Kyrie Irving of football. Where I was right. Listen, Manchester United clearly have no plan. There's 2 things happening here. Number 1, Man United have no plan. But number 2, there's something else going on. And whether you see it or not, I believe this is Paul Pogba's last season. They couldn't sell him and they didn't want to let him go because the type of money they want, you're not going to get it in the COVID window. Van der Beek is your classic number 6'8" deep-lying playmaker. A terrific technician. A terrific technician. If you didn't see the great Ajax side of a season ago with him and Ziyech running berserk with De Ligt when the kids were running nuts, it was like watching the 94-95 team with David Seedorf et al. Van der Beek's not here to rotate. I tell you what they're doing. Listen, top clubs, top establishments. We can give Man United all the sort of, they don't know what they're doing that we like, but they clearly don't have a plan here. But here's what they're saying. Ollie's saying, I do have a plan. This is Ollie saying to the board, Pogba's out of here. I want a replacement now. Let's get Van der Beek in-house because he's our guy long-term. Number 1. But number 2, I think Ollie's telling you something else. I don't trust Paul Pogba's fitness. Ollie's telling you, I don't trust Paul Pogba's fitness. So what's he doing is he's not bringing in a guy who's going to rotate. He's bringing in competition for Pogba. And if he trusted Pogba, he wouldn't have brought in competition because McTominay's there. Fred's there for the rotation. He's saying, no. So I think Ollie's talking to Pogba. If you're a Man United fan, Ollie's talking to you right now. He's saying we're bringing in top class in Pogba's position. I don't trust Paul Pogba. Number 1, I don't trust him as a person. He's not my type of guy. But we do need to sell him at the end of the season. So we'll probably start rotating him. And you'll see Van der Beek might start playing in those bigger games. I think Paul Pogba, this is the beginning of the end. But on the other side, I think Man United don't have a plan. Because, listen, if they were going to do this thing properly, sell Paul Pogba at the beginning of last window. If this Van der Beek planning wasn't just, I don't want to say it's a panic buy, but it looks messy. It looks messy. What are you saying about McTominay? You just spent 50 million on Fred. You've got Matic there. It's pretty full in the middle there. What are you doing with Pereira? Are you going to let him go? Because Pereira is your midfield playmaker. You've still got Jay Lings. It's there's too many in the middle there. I don't see a plan for Man United. But if you look slightly deeper, Paul Pogba, your days are numbered. I think Ollie's talking to you if you're a Man United fan. Will you listen, though? I'll finish off with where I was wrong. LeBron James. Listen, I'm a LeBron guy. I don't support any team. I support LeBron James. I don't support a team in the NBA. For now, I support LeBron James. I thought LeBron was just about the money and business. I thought he was about those money moves. I was dead wrong. LeBron was willing to give it all up for something he believed in. That to me is phenomenal. Greatness is how much you're willing to sacrifice in life. Look, if anybody ever says to you in life, I'll do anything for you. I'll do anything. How many times have you heard that? Girlfriend, boyfriend, sister, mom, brother. All right? And then when they actually need to do that anything, how many times? The best, I guess, example is a relationship. I'll do anything. All right, stop drinking. Can't do that. They'll stop drinking for a week or two. Next thing they're drinking. Stop being selfish. Stop shouting. Stop being aggressive. I'll do anything for you. I'll change. LeBron James, all he is a basketball player. LeBron James out of high school was labeled the chosen one. Can you imagine that type of pressure? He was labeled the chosen one. He has never put a foot wrong. LeBron James's thing is I want to be equal to Michael Jordan. He was willing to give that all up for something far greater than himself. I don't ever want to hear Michael Jordan in the same sentence as LeBron James ever again. Michael would never, ever give anything up for his basketball legacy, and he had his opportunities, by the way. It doesn't make him any less of a man. Sometimes it's not in us. But when LeBron is saying, I'm willing to give up the only thing that I am. Remember, LeBron came straight from high school. He doesn't have an education. He came from a single father household. And now the only thing that LeBron James is, his only legacy in life, what has given him value, is you're the guy next to Michael Jordan. You win a title this year, it now becomes special. You've won with 3 teams now. And he said, I'm willing to give it up. And there's a good chance they'll win this year. LeBron James saying, there's more to me. I'm more than a player. There was a lady on CNN who said, shut up and dribble. I was shocked because I thought LeBron was just money moves. My respect for LeBron James. I mean, listen, it's rare. I've always said this. Do not stop being stupid at home. Don't expect sportsmen to raise your kids, right? So I don't expect sportsmen to be role models. I do not expect that of them. That's not what's on their plate. I will not put that on them. They've won a genetic lottery and honed their craft. But when they do step into that role, it's even more admirable. Because what we've seen, just like US Open today by suspending Novak, corporates do not like any controversy. What LeBron's talking about, it is making all of those billionaires in the NBA cringe. They don't like controversy. LeBron James, the LA Clippers, it's rumored they were the only 2 teams that walked out of the meeting that wanted to stop the bubble. LeBron James, my guy. I don't want to hear Michael Jordan in the same sentence anymore. When we talk about greatness, we talk about Muhammad Ali giving up his 2 years of his prime for refusing to go to a war. That is greatness, people. How much are you willing to sacrifice? Oh, I love you. I love you. Okay, stop drinking. All right, I'll stop drinking for a week. You're back on the bottle. You're not willing to do anything. LeBron James says, I'm willing to do anything. I don't care about a 4th title. I don't care about the millions of dollars. I don't care about the endorsements. I care about what's happening in my community. That was wild for me because I thought LeBron was just money bags. Quite phenomenal. LeBron James, comfortably the greatest basketball player of all time. Folks, that is where I was wrong. That is where I was right. Coming up after this, look, we're going to do Q&A. But if, Dave, we're going to put up the email address just before we go. Email us your ideas. What guests would you like to see? And be ambitious internationally. By the way, we're going to try and really be ambitious. Friday, I'm hoping for somebody who changed the... I think you'll know. This is a good hint. We'll try and get her this week. If not this week, next week. She changed golf forever. If you can guess who that is, good luck. The conversation is underway. We will get her on, if not this week. Look out Friday. Otherwise, next week, hold thumbs. She's been known as the Tiger Woods of the ladies' game. She changed the face of golf. And now she's doing great things for other women coming through in the game. Oh, lady you don't want to mess with. So if you know who that is, look out for that Friday. Sport at CliffCentral.com. What guests you want to see? We're hoping to get a few Premier League players before it starts, but it's looking tight now. We've been pushing. But we've got plenty of great guests this week. Friday, though, I'm really excited to see if we can get that deal clinched, because that will be awesome to bring her to the SA crowd. But coming up after this, ladies and gentlemen, Q&A. Welcome back to it, Dave. Let us get straight to it. By the way, this is Gareth Cliff. This is Gareth Cliff over here. It's Gareth Cliff. That's Gareth Cliff. Everest View says, Maguire is a liability. So I'm guessing, Everest View, you are a Man United fan. Listen, it's becoming more and more clear. Let's take the off-the-field stuff off the table for a second. How much better are United with or without him, really? To be honest, Man United were finishing sixth without Harry Maguire. They were it's a problem. They've got a serious problem. You know, in life, be who can afford to be. Harry Maguire isn't Lucio, right? He's not Nemanja Vidic. You got to be careful in life. Be who you can afford to be. The off-the-field stuff, in life, it's like in anything, in any relationship, in anything, friendships. This is how it works. I know people don't like to hear it. It's too harsh. Be who you can afford to be, because what happens in life is this, particularly in business, but we know, girlfriends, boyfriends, will keep you until we can afford to get rid of you. Now, it's a production versus tolerance. Is Harry Maguire good enough? If he doesn't have a world-class season this season, if they don't finish top four, plus we got to put up with a PR nightmare. So the liability is on two parts. Like, if your performance is average on the field, but your character is high, you're the guy they can send to charity events, corporates want to get involved because of you, right? Oh, no worries. But what you got to be careful is that that's while you're producing. And nobody in the world, from personal to professional, will tolerate more than you produce. I will never in my life tolerate somebody, right? I won't tolerate more nonsense than what they give me on the upside. Harry Maguire he's starting to become a liability, because Man United can come fifth, sixth without him. This is an anomaly year, by the way, coming tied third. All right, coming top four is an anomaly year. This is a big year for Harry Maguire. Stay out of jail, and you better perform this year, because I think Ollie's on a new thing. Ollie's not putting up with price tags. He's shown he doesn't care. He wants to do it the United way. I think Harry Maguire is a liability, and I don't think he's as good as the price was always ludicrous. Expectations are killer, folks. Dave, what's next? Ndogozo Majors, he says, I just think that Malcolm's skill set is very beneficial for a team like SA. We don't have flanks that do what Malcolm does. Ndogozo, I agree with you to an extent. So Ndogozo was talking, I think, about what James and Woude were picking their teams, and they were debating, of course, James being the one World Cup winning hooker. And I think James picked Mbonambi over Malcolm Marx. So let me be clear what my position was. 2 years ago, I was actually sitting with Woude Muller and a friend of hers, and we were watching rugby at Newlands. And at that time, Mbonambi was just coming in, but I've watched rugby for long enough. I said to Woude and her friend, who's a big rugby guy, and I said, Mbonambi is going to be our World Cup hooker. And they both laughed at me. And I said, because I understand, and I've watched South African rugby since I was like 6. I know what we want in our tight 5. Fundamental. Can you scrum and can you throw the ball in the line out? Because South African rugby is not about anything outside of the number 9. That's all chandeliers and staircases. The foundation of SA rugby is 7, 9, and the locks. It's always been that. And if you're a hooker, you can't throw. And if you're a hooker, you can't scrum. I'm afraid no go. Bongi Mbonambi is one of the most solid scrummages in world rugby. But then his line-out numbers are phenomenal. There was a game against France when he just came off the bench, the tour before we went and won the World Cup, that December tour. Right? We were down. I mean, it's raining, slippery ball, and he's just come on like 5 minutes before. He throws a 6-ball, a magical 6-ball after we'd had a nightmare in the line-out all game. And I said, there's our guy. Right? So for me, Malcolm Marx, I'm afraid, I've always said it, he's more of a flank masquerading as a hooker. But in SA rugby, we don't need a fetcher because we don't play expansive rugby. So the All Blacks need a genuine open sider because you know why they need a ball hawk? Is that the ball gets into the outside channels a lot. So you need a 7 who's mobile. You need somebody who can get there. And not just to steal, by the way. Remember, a 7's job as well, the ball hawk, is to make sure you retain. So what you want them to do is when you're 6, 8, and now we've seen inside centers in rugby have become your other flank, is that you need them to retain so they clean first, right? And really now what they're doing, and I think Siya Kolisi has been quite brilliant at this, is they seal off the ball illegally, might I add. Malcolm Marx doesn't need to do that in Bok rugby. It's great to have him, but when you got Francois Lowe off the bench, and we keep the ball so tight, we play territorial, most of the ball's in the air with us. So Malcolm Marx, great off the bench and great ball carrier. Nice as when everybody's tired, but he's a nice to have, to be honest with you. I've never thought of him as the best hooker. If you can't throw in the line out and you can't scrum, I'm afraid you're not a hooker. So, Doggos, I think it's an interesting point, but I would have to vehemently disagree. I think I could let him go. South Africa will keep producing loose forwards like that. We went straight from Bismarck to him. Then we got Mbonambi is just insane because he's underrated, right? Mbonambi is probably more of a test hooker. So you don't see that flashy running, but my goodness, his defense is nasty. Ball in hand. Oh my goodness. By the way, met him once. I don't know how he fits in any pants. By the way, his quads are the size of a tree trunk. Like, I don't know if he's buying pants from Corvus Visa. Insane. So, Marx, I'm out, to be honest with you. Never been a fan. Dave, what you got for me? Jesse Randolph says, Martinez is my number 1. He's one of our own. Spent 10 years at the club before he got his chance. He's better than Leno. It's just Leno is younger. It's tough to choose. It's tough to choose number 1. Would you take? Who would you take at Chelsea? Great question. For me, it's quite easy. I would take Martinez. I tell you why. Leno worries me. I don't like a short keeper. He's, I think, 186, 187. For me, anything under 190, I can't do it. Peter Cech, Thibaut Courtois, I've been really spoiled as a Chelsea fan. Number 1. Number 2, Leno's feet are not good. Not their average. They're not good. He can't pass. He can't play out from the back. I don't like that. Martinez, solid. And then another problem I have with Leno, the crosses. It's a problem. And Chelsea are a really short team, and they haven't addressed that. So for me, it's quite an easy one. I take Martinez because the shot stopping's equal. The box, I take Martinez, and he's got great feet. Martinez is a better keeper. I'm sorry, I know Arsenal fans, and Leno probably is a better long-range shot stopper. Maybe I could give him that, like the long-range stuff, but I mean, Martinez is better keeper for me. I would easily, it's not even a contest. It's not even a contest. Give me Martinez any day. Dave, what you got? Dogozo Majosi again saying none of the Bok captains have really been the best in their position. That is such a magnificent point. That is such a magnificent point. And, no matter what you think, I think it's debatable with Francois Pienaar. Some might have said, okay, you could have gone Barley Swart, you could have gone with whoever at the open side, you got Barley at blind side anyway. But I think what you have to give credit to is the leaders we've had. Because sometimes, people forget in team sport, it's not about the best players. Stop worrying about the best players. And the All Blacks learned a harsh lesson twice. Very, very harsh lesson. 2003, they learned a really harsh lesson. I mean, they had them all. Wilson, Cullen, Umanga, of course, tragically got injured, but Alatini, I mean, that team was just Howlett, Jack, Maxwell, Anton Oliver. Listen to the team I'm naming. Oh, Ruben Thorne. They made some selection mistakes in that tour. They played Cullen at 13. Keep him at fullback. Listen, stop worrying about the best players. Pick the best team. They learned a harsh lesson 03. I think that was. They learned a really harsh lesson 07 when I think Barnes robbed them out of a game against France, but that's neither here nor there. But then in 11, they got it dead right. Graham Henry wasn't going to get it wrong again. Pick the best team. Stop picking the best individuals. And we have to give credit to our 3 coaches that have won World Cups. All 3 of them said Pienaar, from what we understand. James Dalton, who, by the way, doesn't favor anybody, said Francois Pienaar was a great leader. He didn't say he was a great player, right? He said he was a great leader. Now, Kitch Christie, for you to recognize that, Bismarck is probably, and once again, probably it's a tough one, but Bismarck's a better rugby player than John Smith. I think John Smith would admit that. It's close, but Bismarck's probably a better rugby player. But John Smith brought the team together. He brought the cultures together. Better leader. Jake White, kudos. 2017, we come through 2019. Rassie Erasmus, a fragmented squad. Alistair Coetzee, who shouldn't be coaching an under-9 netball team. Forget about the Springboks team. It was fragmented. Everybody was everywhere. No leadership. Rassie came in. It became very clear. Sia's the leader. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. We live in South Africa. We're going to have to make certain selections. Like Rassie, it was clear. The direction was clear. As soon as Rassie came in, things were clear. Under Alistair, it was ridiculous. Blind leading the blind. Rassie came in. Okay, here's our leader. We all follow behind this man. One man, everybody had direction. And didn't it feel like we were going to do something special under Rassie straight away? He didn't care. Like, Sia's not the best open side. Like, please. Nobody thinks Siya Kolisi is the best loose forward in this country. Siya Kolisi could be, if we were just doing a blind resume, we could actually leave Siya Kolisi out of the Springbok team. And we'd be fine. We've got such incredible loose forwards in this country. But when you take Siya in his context, how he unites a nation, right? What does Siya represent? First black captain who could actually go and win. That's important in our context. That's huge. Listen, people that say leave politics out of sport, that's nonsense. Politics has always been in sport and always will be. Where there's money, there's politics. Any idiot out there who says, oh, politics must stay out of sport, but listen here, dumb guy. Anywhere where there's money, economics, there's politics immediately. So go and watch amateur sport. Because in everywhere you go, IAAF, everywhere in the world, there is politics in sport. Rassie made it clear, though, I'll deal with the politics. Siya, you got a bigger project on your hands, my man. We have to credit those 3 coaches because Sia's not the best player either. And Dogozo, that is a magnificent, magnificent point. I could not agree more, and we have to credit our coaches. Dave, what you got for me? Senzo Sitebe is saying, LeBron James, hands down, one of the best role models we've ever had in sport. You hardly ever hear things about him and the bad things off the court. You can only critique him on the court. He is the guy. So I want to make my position clear again. I always say, and it annoys me, there's a certain type of person, like if you went to, a sports school, a type of mom that would pitch on a Saturday and just, they expect people to be role models and they always talk, sportsmen should be role models. Shut up. Shut up. Sportsmen shouldn't be role models. No, they shouldn't. They should be sportsmen. Right? So I don't expect sportsmen to be role models. They've won a genetic lottery. But when they are able to embrace that, right? When they're not forced into it, because some guys, it's clear, they don't want to be role models. Neymar doesn't want to be a role model. Pogba doesn't want to be a role model. That's not his thing. Stop trying to force them to become that. You shouldn't force them. You should allow them to step into it. Right? It's a mistake we make, I guess, in how we vote as well. is we have to be careful of people that are hungry for power. They're often the worst people to be. The best people to put in charge are the people that don't want the responsibility more often than not. They don't want the power. LeBron James, shocking. Like, I thought he just wanted power and money. Clearly not. Like, if you're willing to walk out of a title, but for LeBron, when you're going to embrace it, right? When you're going to be about that, when you're going to put money, hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, that's another level, dude. And he's not being forced to do it. For a guy like LeBron, listen, the chosen one, straight out of school, never put a foot wrong. No father in the household. The tragedy of growing up poor and in his area in Cleveland. A single mother. I think she had him when she was 15 or 16. The chosen one out of high school. Can you imagine that type of pressure without a male figure in his life? Never put a foot wrong. The man has to get his kudos. And this is why LeBron, more than MJ, has transcended the game of basketball. This is why LeBron can have his own company. This is why people you look at how he set it up with Maverick Carter. Warren Buffett wants to work with LeBron. It's a different league. Listen, what Nike and Phil Knight have done for MJ, insane. He was the first one there, right? But LeBron's a different level. Like, it's insane what LeBron James is doing. And to have never put a foot wrong. I mean, he's been the face of the league since 18 years old. Think of the things you would do if you had $100 million at 18. Think of the things you did now with your broke ass. Now, he had all the options in the world. Never heard a thing about him. LeBron James, the greatest. No, I have nothing more to say. Pimo, just so you know, it's very difficult to coach under 9 netball. That's a great point. Could you imagine, like, as soon as I said it, like, little kids at 9 years old, like, what are they eating on a Saturday morning? Like sour worms for breakfast. They are going berserk. Imagine trying to get, is it 6 people on a netball court? Oh my goodness. And then you got 10 on the side. And then of course the moms are chatting, the dads are chatting, catching up, because it's a socializing thing. That's a great point. So maybe I need to give Alistair Coetzee a little bit more credit. Coaching under 9 netball must be an absolute nightmare. Great point, Pimo. Full MJ. Kaizer Chiefs almost added some gold to their cabinet. So close to getting rid of those 5 years of dust. Here's the reality. That is the most hilarious thing ever. By the way, those who didn't see it, they went and lost to Baroka. Yes. I don't mean the medicine, by the way. Yeah, because I know there's a Baroka tablet. No, not the tablet. They didn't take too much Baroka and weren't feeling well. A football club called Baroka for whatever reason has gone and denied Kaizer Chiefs. Here's the level of ridiculous of Kaizer Chiefs' situation. Before coronavirus put its elbow in people's throats, right, and came off the top rope, Jeff Hardy style, they were 14 points ahead of the rest of the league. It is the biggest collapse since the Berlin Wall. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. Kaizer Chiefs, hilarious. As an Orlando Pirates fan, I loved every second of it. We'll see what we can do about the man who won the league, by the way. We're in conversations. We're going to try and get Pitso Mosimane on this show, because Pitso had enough to say about the referees and Kaizer Chiefs before the lockdown. I cannot wait to hear what Pitso has to say. We'll work on that. Pitso Mosimane coming up, ladies and gentlemen. And also, we do have a representative of Kaizer Chiefs that is locked in. So look out for that. I want to hear all the excuses and everything. So the Glamour boys are not so glamorous this season. Senzo Sitebe says, Umbi, but Serena was right to stand her ground. We all know that if she did what Djokovic did, the media would have been on her way worse than Djokovic. And we all know what. Look, I think Serena doesn't help herself. Serena doesn't help herself. You know, it's a tough one because she's all about the culture, right? But LeBron helps himself, because when LeBron's about it, he speaks in a certain way. And when you step into leadership, I'm going to need you to carry yourself in a certain way, and I'm going to need you to be consistent. This is where LeBron distances himself from Serena. I'm sorry. This is where LeBron distances himself. And like, if you're going to push it off the outside, is Hey, man, I like my presidents to be presidential, right? So, like, forget about the policy. Like, Obama's presidential, right? Michelle Obama's presidential. Whether there's some stuff about him I don't like, but LeBron's presidential. If you're going to deal with serious stuff, I'm going to need you to lead with a certain composure. It can't be hysterical. I don't do hysterical and you want to lead. I can't do it. Hysterical is for us on the streets who are going to riot. Let us do that. Because Serena needs to know her place. Serena, you're different from us. We look to you to give us direction. If Serena's going hysterical, how am I going to feel calm? This is where LeBron's different, right? And yes, if Serena had gone nuts, but I think it's because Serena has put herself there. So outside of we know what tennis is, the female, black, we don't really love that, but Serena doesn't help herself sometimes. If you want to address serious stuff, especially if you're at the top, there's a certain way. Now, if you haven't read The Prince, right, Machiavelli's The Prince. In life, there are kings and there are kingmakers. Often the true power is not with Serena Williams. True kings, what do? Machiavelli says the prince or the king must learn to wear two hats. That's what LeBron does brilliantly. People call LeBron passive-aggressive. LeBron plays the media brilliantly while he gets Maverick Carter and he's got his own agents. I mean, look at the way LeBron went and got Anthony Davis. What did he do? Essentially, we know who his agent is. We know what Rich Paul is. Rich Paul works for LeBron James. But LeBron said, hey, he's got his own company. See, that's leadership, is you move the chess pieces. Serena has failed herself because she wants to do everything. That's not leadership. For me, I'm not comfortable with Serena in general. I get skittish around when my leadership is that. I don't like erratic at the top, dude. So Serena, for me, brings it on herself. Plus, also, yes, we know what tennis is. They don't really like black female getting loud. Already, Serena's at a disadvantage. We have to be clear what tennis is. But Serena doesn't help herself. Now, LeBron James, he puts himself. The only way to win in life, people, you got to get an army. True leaders know how to win. No man is an island. Nobody's ever done anything great by themselves. Not Elon Musk, not Warren Buffett. You hear all of it. I mean, you talk about, if you talk about the Woz, you have to talk about Steve Jobs. You talk about Steve Jobs, you have to talk about the Woz. You can't talk about one of them. And you read their books, they go 6 or 7 engineers. They're always naming people. Serena, you can't win on your own. That's not leadership. So it's tough for me to have empathy for Serena Williams. I got to be honest with you. It's tough because she sets herself up. Mike Tyson said something great the other day. It was a while ago when Floyd Mayweather called himself the greatest of all time. He said, true greatness is not separating yourself from the people. True greatness is embracing the people. So his point in this case was Floyd Mayweather is a coward in the sense that he walks around with bodyguards. Listen, if you're great, Muhammad Ali never had a single bodyguard. Between you and me, Muhammad Ali, and I love Floyd Mayweather, I think he's the greatest defensive boxer of all time. Muhammad Ali is a slightly bigger deal than Floyd Mayweather will ever be. Never a bodyguard. The great ones, never bodyguards. They walk amongst the people. So Serena there's something going on there. There's something going on there, and you got to pick a lane. You're either going to lead, and if you lead, you take all the bullets and you keep composed. LeBron James, Serena Williams, hey man, I don't know. I've been out on her, but maybe Senzo, I'm wrong. But for me, I've never been one for Serena's leadership style. Dave, what you got? The rig, not the first time a Lions person has absolutely overreacted like a Premier League footballer. It's certainly not. I mean, it was so ridiculous. Folks, if you haven't seen it, and Novak hasn't really crushed that ball. Novak Djokovic serves the ball at close to 200 kilometers an hour, in excess of on occasions. Lady, calm down. Calm down. Listen, she'll get a Golden Globe. I wouldn't say an Oscar, but she'll get a Golden Globe. Absolutely ridiculous. Dave, what you got? Senzo Setebe say it's looking so messy at Barcelona. Apparently, he had said he will go back on his word if they get rid of Suarez. The Barcelona president must just resign because this is a nightmare. No player in there once. Yeah, listen, what did I say from the beginning? I know what's going to happen from here. I told you it's a flex from Messi. What he's doing is he's putting Bartomeu out in public to suffer because there's nobody in Barcelona who's going to pick businessmen over Leo Messi. He's their Leonidas. The people don't love the emperor. No common man loves the emperor. They love the gladiator in the ring. Leo Messi knows that. He's got advisors around him. You think his interview with DAZN and Goal, if you haven't seen it, you think that was a mistake? That was a message to the board that I'm here and you guys are out. If you haven't, I don't want to do a spoiler. If you haven't heard Leo Messi's exclusive, go and check it out, goal.com. Extremely interesting. Listen to his words. Listen to what he's saying. Bartomeu's days are numbered. I really believe you can expect to see Puyol, Xavi, expect to see maybe a Reisiger, a Van Bronckhorst. Start to expect those guys to occupy the board. Start to expect more Catalan. Get rid of these guys, these old guys. Like we're buying Griezmann and Dembele and What they might do is Xavi, bring him back in-house, give him a season maybe with the B team, and then next year, Leo Messi saying maybe next year's my last season and we're not mucking about. It is getting messy. Bartomeu is going to have to go. And ultimately, I was just talking about the Machiavellian way of doing things. If you haven't read Machiavelli's The Prince, right, I highly recommend you go and read The Prince. It's an absolutely fascinating book in leadership. Everybody in the US Senate, when you go into the US Senate, it comes with your pack. Leo Messi, unlike Serena Williams, smart. You build an army around you. You let people make the chess moves so you don't have to look like the bad guy. Leo Messi right now looks like the victim. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant what Messi's done. And I saw it from the beginning and I called it. And I love saying I told you so. Dave, what you got? Jesse Randolph, did I start an FPL league yet? Jesse, will do that on Wednesday. So look out for that announcement on Wednesday. Look out on social media. We will put that up. But oh, you better believe it. And we are going for it this year. We are going for it this year. So I think what we might do Wednesday, name change, and then we'll do the FPL. That's going to be, and there will be prizes, by the way. Just so people know, there will be prizes. So take it seriously, damn it. Pimo, 300 joke. Followed by Russell Crowe. 300 joke, followed by Russell Crowe joke. Well done. Leo Messi has been a spoiled brat. Look, that's another way to look at it, right? Is Barcelona. So for those who don't know the story about Leo Messi, they took him early on from Newell's Old Boys. He had a growing, he had a genetic deficiency, right? His bones weren't growing at the right rate. He wasn't growing at the right rate. And he had to get hormones, which of course he would never have been afforded. He comes from an extremely poor family. Some might say, hey, we've given you that. Come on, guy. But sometimes in life, we all work at work sometimes. You know, sometimes we give people rope, right? And Leo Messi is now ascended to, he's at least equal to Barcelona. He might have been the kid, but he's grown up now. He's not that little Simba that was mucking about and Scar's gone and got some hyenas around him, killed the dad. I'm the big guy now. Let's talk. Now we talk face to face. I don't have to run away anymore. If you haven't seen Lion King, I can't help you on this one. Leo Messi saying, I'm the big dog now. And what he's saying is, I'm in a phase of my career. I've always said there's 3 phases in a sportsman's legacy, right? The invention, which was the beginning, Ronaldinho transcending him, right? Then my ability, I'm at my peak. And then it's about becoming legendary. Leo Messi says, this is about me becoming legendary now. I need to separate myself from Cristiano Ronaldo. What about what I've done? 5 Ballon d'Ors. What about the billions of dollars you've made off my back? Some people might say, Barcelona, give him a bit of leeway, spoiled brat. Some people say that. And hey, that's fair. Listen, the guy's been earning what, 200 million euros for 10 years now? That's a fair call. By the way, 300 joke, Leonidas. Dave, what you got? Do you think Proteas will play again before more than half our team are retired? What do you think of the players sending CSA a letter to pull up their socks? I think we have problems there, Dave. I think we have problems, but the problems aren't new. Listen, when you see let's use terms everybody can understand. Most of us are in South Africa, but globally, when a president, right, has a good first term or a bad first term, that's never his fault. Because how political cycles work is, in America, it's 2 cycles ago. So 8 years ago, you'll reap the rewards 8 years later, right? So Obama would have reaped the rewards what happened 8 years ago. Trump is now reaping the rewards of what Obama would have done with Obamacare, etc., blah, blah, blah. And this is not a result of now. Let us be very clear. We mustn't think to ourselves, oh, look at CSA cricket, or look how bad it is now. This isn't now. They should be disgraced because this has been a decade. It's like the old adage. They've been eating an elephant with a teaspoon. Right? And now we're in trouble. I never thought I'd quote the evil woman of the West, but Margaret Thatcher says it's all good and well until you run out of other people's money. Listen, corporate governance, folks, is a real thing. It's a real thing. This thing's not a joke. Sport is not a joke. Sport is the most competitive business in the world. I don't care what people say. I know there's people, Pimo, the man he's in big time banking. But there's nothing like sport because it is an environment where anything less than winning is unacceptable. Everywhere else, we all have mediocre work colleagues, folks. It's not acceptable in sport. And when the administration's a joke, it bleeds through to the players. The players just want to play cricket. Players shouldn't have to be dealing with this stuff. It is embarrassing. It is shocking. And this country just, there's a myriad of circumstances, right? Listen, we have to be out with this. All it says for the next young black administrator is, we told you so. It gives the old regimes and people that have certain aspersions onto the new regime of what South Africa is coming to build is, we can't let these people run cricket. Look at this. It's so egregious. And it's happening in rugby, it's happening in cricket. It's so bad, not just for the people now, but what about us? What about us, the 30-year-old South Africans? Black, white, I don't care. What about us? This isn't about these guys. I don't care about these guys getting fired. I really don't. What about us? The rot started 10 years ago. It is revolting. Do I think I'll see the protests? Probably not. Because you know what international sports bodies hate? Is governments getting involved. And I think we are that close to having government intervention because we've got a serious problem. $400 million over the last 400 million rand lost in the last 3 years. 400 million rand. Listen to that number. That is a problem which, how do you solve that without actually shutting things down? 400 million rand in 3 years. When you just say that number out loud, astronomical. I don't see the protests playing again. And I think we may, honestly, look out for international intervention. I expect the ICC to be popping in. And then if the ICC have to pop in, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly. And then we know what the olden days were like in South African cricket. Could we be saying, and don't think we're immune. You ask Pakistan what happens when you've got political interference in your sport. The ICC are not shy. They will ban the living hell out of you. They are not playing games. And now they got Saurav Ganguly. Ganguly's shown, India's shown, we don't give a damn unless you're England and Australia. We don't give a damn. South Africa to India, they don't give a damn. Get the hell out of here. We're in serious problems. Do I think the protests will play again? I don't. Certainly not Test cricket. Not this year. No way. Maybe pajama cricket. We'll play a bit of one day, a bit of T20 nonsense, but not real cricket. No way. No way, no how. What you got for me, Dave? Marshman says, Deontay Wilder is out with a bicep injury, so no rematch on the cards. Who do you think would have taken it? It's not even a question. Deontay Wilder is a bum. And Deontay Wilder's done. Listen, folks, when you suffer in life and it's everyone else's fault, you can't improve. Deontay Wilder's done. The thing about losing, you saw Dillian White, how he lost to Povetkin. Did you hear a single excuse? He said, I know what I did wrong. I need to go and fix. I need to go back to camp. What was Deontay Wilder's first thing? My suit was too heavy. What? And the bicep injury is an interesting one because I saw him shooting a revolver 2 weeks ago on Instagram. Now, I haven't shot a gun for a long, long time, but a revolver, chest, and then he shot a shotgun as well. He shot a couple of guns. He was at a gun range. That, if you're injured, if your bicep is injured, that cannot be too good for your biceps. So all I'm hearing is excuses, dude. And the Wilder's shot, he's a bum. He's a bum. Tyson Fury embarrassed him. Forget Tyson. Listen, Deontay Wilder is done. We've moved on from the guy. Fury stops him in 3. Next, if he fights him again, stops him in 3. So he's shot. And the problem with Wilder now, he's gone up here. And I'll tell you the reason for that. When things go wrong in life and you allow people around you, you know what it's like? It's like a drug addict or an alcoholic. We all have friends like this. Or we all have people we care about who hang out with certain people and tell them, yeah, you're great getting hammered, drinking and driving. Yeah, you're great getting hammered all the time. It's a Sunday. You got work on Monday morning and you're 35 years old. Yeah, come on, you're the party guy. We all have these friends who we want to help, right? But the friends, we can't get them away. We may have girlfriends and boyfriends who have these friends who just set them up to fail. Deontay Wilder has allowed his circle to convince him it was the suit. It was his injury. I mean, come on, dude. How about I was outboxed? I wasn't ready. I got the tactics wrong. I was bullied. I was taken to school. No, none of that. It's everyone else's fault. Deontay Wilder shot up here. And listen, in boxing is one sport. That is a warrior sport. And if, as a warrior, if you're not willing to suffer up here, because you're going to get hit, everybody's going to get hit. If you're not willing to suffer, it's gone. Because I promise you, the first thing to hit him on the chin, he's down. And Fury's got him. Fury beat him twice already. The first fight was fixed. So Deontay Wilder's a bum, people. He'll lose to Dillian White. Povetkin would beat him. Povetkin would, I'll say it right now, 40-year-old Alexander Povetkin would beat him. Daniel Dubois would beat him. Wilder's a bum. Dave, what you got for me? Kulenkos, he says, with all of Chelsea's signings, Frank is under more pressure than Ollie and Jose to finish in the top 4 in the EPL. I disagree. I disagree highly there. I think what you have to be honest about is that Frank Lampard came into a no-win situation. You lost your best player. You only had the kids. And this is essentially Frank Lampard's first season. So although there'll be pressure, yes, top 4, I can't disagree. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has now crossed the threshold of spending £400 million. If you don't think there's pressure on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'm afraid £400 million of spending. Lampard's nowhere near that. This is the first window Frank Lampard's had, by the way. And don't count the Pulisic signing, because Pulisic was signed before. He was signed in January of last year. So I would say under more pressure than United, I would say the pressure only exists was, wow, if you were tied with Man United without any signings and Man United spent £350 million, hey, Frank, come on now. So I would say the pressure will be more internal, but I think they're in this for the long haul because they allowed him to buy young players. I think this is Chelsea settling in season. But to be honest with you, I think Chelsea will be top 2 anyway. I'll give my predictions, but no pressure. I think Ollie's under serious pressure because, hey, you broke the record for Maguire. You broke the record for Pogba. Now, this wasn't all Ollie, but I'm just saying what kind of players. Bruno was a heavy signing, right? Anthony Martial is the most expensive teenager to ever be in British football. Like, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, £50 million. Fred, £50 million. Luke Shaw, £30 million. Lindelof, £32 million. Bailly, £35 million. He's got some dudes there. He's got some dudes and he's had some time. He's crossed the threshold. £400 million of spending. Lampard's nowhere near that. Lampard's just crossed over 200 million. So I might say Ollie's under a little bit more pressure. And I'm not just saying that as a Chelsea fan. Listen, it matters how you spend. Look, corporates are always talking to us. Wherever you work, and I know people don't want to hear this, your company's talking to you. You know what the language is. If we pay you the most money and we give you the most money, we expect the most of you. The pressure's on Ollie. The pressure's on Ollie, for me, more than Frank. So I think Lampard top 4 is a given, but anything else is a bonus. Next season, though, Frank Lampard, you better believe, Roman Abramovich is nobody's friend. Hey, Roman Abramovich fired Jose Mourinho twice. Twice. That's messy. We know how messy divorces. Jose Mourinho won him 2 titles, both 3 times, right? Or 2 separate times. 3 titles, separate times. Get the hell out of here, both times. The hell out of here. It's unbelievable. So Frank Lampard thinks, I would say, settle down this season, because now he's really got his guys. Next season, if you don't win the league, Frank Lampard, you are no one's friend, I'm afraid. Dave, what you got? Pimo, CSA is a joke. Way forward, pretty simple. Pick a 26-year-old captain, then decide to back 20 players, right? And stop our unnecessary reliance on AB, Fuff, and co. They came and performed, and now gone. Okay, thanks. Pimo, that is one of the most poignant things I've ever read. CSA is a joke, but what we need now, love or hate Graham Smith, right? The goal now is we set Graham Smith up to do what he has to do to succeed, like we did with Siya Kolisi. We fall in line now. We live in South Africa. There's going to be transformation targets. We mustn't hide these conversations. Let's have ugly conversations on the table, people. We have to have transformation targets. If Rassie did it, everyone can do it. Everyone can do it. Let's have those ugly conversations in the open. But what do? Rassie showed us, right? Is let's let the cricketers play cricket. Let's let the guys who run the corporate side run the corporate side. All of the stuff in terms of how our structures look, medium term, 5 years, let people plan that. But like Pimo said brilliantly, we pick a 28-year-old captain. We might even go with Markram. But what we do, like we did, you know who did it the best? The All Blacks. With Richie McCaw. They said, that's our captain. And then you wrap him in cotton wool. And you pick 6 or 7 guys in the leadership core, like the All Blacks did. And they went on a dynasty. They won 2 World Cups in a row. You wrap all of those guys in cotton wool. So 5 or 6 untouchables. But you make it so that their behavior, guys, there's a few things that are non-negotiable. You're part of the leadership core. So, being in the leadership in South African sport is not like being in Australia, India, nowhere else here. You have a bigger responsibility than just being cricketers. You make them understand that. And then we fall in line with Graham Smith. And then the corporate side's non-negotiable. So Pimo, I think Dave, can you just put up Pimo's message again? I absolutely love that. I really, really love what he's saying there. And look, we're really bad in this country. The end of point, the takeaway point, AB, Fuff, and co. I've always said this. When a batsman turns 30, right, you should already be cutting down his number. Stop getting emotional. Start preparing the next batsman. Start getting the next guy in-house 2 or 3 years before you get rid of the batsman. We don't do it in South African cricket. Look at Australia. You know, when you have a plan, you know what happens. Look at Australia's captaincy situation. Give an example, real example, just so people don't think I'm just talking. Alan Border. Oh, surely he's irreplaceable. 10,000 test runs. Are you kidding me? Oh, no, we got Mark Taylor. Thank you very much. Even better. I'd argue even better. Mark Taylor, irreplaceable, tough. He's going to build that sort of 90s Merv Hughes, build around that tough Australian, unbeatable. We'll never replace him. Oh, look who came next. Steve Waugh, probably the greatest of all time. Not probably, the greatest captain of all time. Oh, he's irreplaceable. We'll never be able to win without him. Steve Waugh goes out. Michael Clark, pup. We'll never replace him. Now we've peaked. He's a superstar girlfriend. He's selling the game to the world. He's got those looks. Australian cricket will never be the same. If they could just keep sandpaper in their pockets. Steve Smith. Folks, that's 5 captains in a row. That's 5 leadership calls in a row. Australian cricket never tailed off. Never tailed off. Plan. They call it succession planning. If I know it, and I'm a moron, if I know it, come on, CSA. A batsman, once he turns 30, Father Time is undefeated, folks. Once a batsman, bowlers, I'll give a little more time because you can become more crafty. If you're a fast bowler, you can play, I believe, till 35, 36. You can become more crafty. You can, Wasim, Dale Steyn, they showed you. You can play well into your 30s. You become more crafty, you lose pace, it doesn't matter. But batsmen, it's all about reflexes. And once the eye goes, there's nothing you can do about that. Once the reflexes slow down, there is nothing you can do about it. And at 30, the numbers show you. Start preparing 2 years out. And Pimo, I love your takeaway. South African sport needs to stop being so emotional. We love our old heroes. 32, cut, guys. Hashim Amla, AB de Villiers, Faf du Plessis, and all my friends know, everybody knows, should have been gone 4 years ago. Markram should have 40 tests now. Markram should have 40 tests now. Now we're going to upheaval again. We want to get rid of 5 guys. Kallis, AB, Faf. Let's get rid of all of them at the same time. Oh no, what are we going to do about experience? It's the second in a row where we've got it wrong. Come on, guys. That's what happens though when you don't have corporate governance. I think we're on to our last one, is it, Dave? So we'll wrap up after this. Thank you very much, folks. We are back, by the way. We are back. Senzo Sitebe says, we didn't tie with you. Please cut that out. We did the double on you. So I don't think we as equal as you think. But it is, if that is how you make yourself feel better, then more power to you. Listen, we got the same points and we got the same reward. Right? People say, oh, did Man City and Man United get tied first when Kun Aguero did the right thing? Aguero! Martin Tyler said. No, because your rewards were different. Your rewards were different, Chief. So it's tied third. You don't have to like what I'm saying. It was the same points. Smaller nyana, goal difference nyan. So Man United and Chelsea came tied third because the reward was the same. So as a Man United fan, don't be angry at me. Ollie did that. Senzo, don't be angry at me. Ladies and gentlemen, for now, CliffCentral Sport. 2 days' time, new name launch. I'm going to love it. I already love the name. I love it because it's probably my name with a little twist, but it's going to be awesome. We're going to rename Wednesday, right? FPL, right? Fantasy Premier League, that's happening. And there will be prizes, I guarantee you. So take it seriously. I don't want to hear people whinging. But for today, this has been awesome. Folks, you could have been anywhere tonight. You could have been with anyone. Wherever you are, whoever you may be with, be loved. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. By the way, Farai Razzano. Go and look him up. Farai, F-A-R-A-I. Razzano, R-A-Z-A-N-O. Our guest tomorrow. That's going to be electrifying. We're going to discuss the complexity of Maguire's situation from a legal standpoint. We may discuss other legalities in sport. Coutinho, his bonus, how did that come about? Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. CliffCentral Sport, Big Shot Media, we are back again. And we are going through all year. It's great to be back. For tonight, it has been CliffCentral Sport. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. It has been a pleasure.